Tomorrow marks 1 month since the devastating fire at the Twin Parks apartment complex, which killed 17 people and displaced dozens of families.
Most of those families still living in hotels while they wait for the city to find them permanent housing. Many of them expressed their frustration to PIX11 weeks ago.
A lot of things that are being done for us, the families are not receiving. A lot of families that I speak to who work, who do not receive any government funding, are not being helped.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is stepping in to help the victims of the Bronx fire really rebuild their lives. And he joins us this morning to discuss the legal action he's taking on behalf of those families. So, Mr. Crump, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Crump, let's get into it because you're headed to the site of that fire later this morning. I can't believe, by the way, that it's been a month. Can you give us a preview of what exactly this lawsuit is that you're announcing?
Yes, this lawsuit is on behalf of these families and these loved ones of these marginalized people of color for the company and the owners of this apartment building for violating the safety rules. We have the safety rules here for people to follow because it's foreseeable that things like fires can start, and you want the safety rules to be in place so you don't lose 17 people in one tragedy. There were all kinds of violations. Doors were not equipped with automatic closing mechanisms. Windows could not be open more than a few inches, so the smoke had nowhere to go. Many of the victims who died from smoke inhalation. There were no sprinkler systems in place. They did not have adequate heating, so people did have to resort to using space heaters, and therefore the cause of the fire could have been avoided had they had adequate heating. We have to do better by our citizens who are marginalized.
Yeah, who specifically is named in the lawsuit? Is it the city, the landlords, the apartment building, the Camber Property Group?
Exactly. The landlords, the owners, the management company, those people who had a duty since they took the money from the residents, and a lot of these were government-assisted vouchers and so forth. And so when you take the government's money, the taxpayers' money, you have a duty, an extra duty, I would add, to the public.
So is the city named in the lawsuit?
The city is not named in the lawsuit at this time. We're still investigating. Believe you me, if the city has culpability, we're going to make sure that these Black people get full justice. We often look at this and say, if it was a more affluent group of people, if there were white citizens who 17 of them died from a house fire, there would not only be civil citations, but they would be criminal culpability. Why is it different when it's Black people who suffer an injustice?
So, Mr. Crump, displaced residents, obviously they've been very vocal about not getting the help that they need, right? Have you had a chance to actually speak with them one-on-one? What is the end result of this lawsuit to help them? What's the dollar amount that you're seeking?
Well, you want the full value of what the 7th Amendment guarantees, that when you have a civil wrong, you can recover. I will say this, just like we said in Flint, Michigan, if that were white children who died, everybody would say millions and hundreds of millions of dollars would have been inadequate. What I aim to do is to make sure those little Black children who was taken from this earth far too soon, that they are valued just as much as little white children, because the Declaration of Independence in America says we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equally. That means even those people who were in that apartment building that were taken from this earth because of that fire in violation of the safety rules.
So I hear you. So is there a specific, not to press you on that, but is there a specific dollar amount that you're seeking here, or is it to be continued?
Well, it's to be continued because, you know, there is no value that you can put on human life. And we're going to look and see how many violations were not followed and how horrible these deaths were. You know, to die of smoke inhalation is one of the worst deaths you can ever have because it's a slow death. I mean, you are taking in smoke 1 second at a time, and it's just building up, and it's like you're suffocating. Can you imagine what was going through those little children's minds
Just a
as they
horrible
mothers
image.
and fathers?
Yeah, just
I
horrible.
mean, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So you had mentioned the malfunctioning self-closing doors that could have prevented the fire and many other reasons or many other things that could have prevented it. So what kind of message are you hoping that this will send to other landlords by filing this lawsuit?
And that's a great question, because when I take cases, it's not only to try to have an impact on just the family of the loved one that suffered the injustice. It's really about trying to prevent this from happening in the future. And other landlords, other property owners, other corporations, knowing that if you don't follow the rules, then we're going to hold you accountable. We're not going to let you sweep these black people under the rug. We're not going to let you forget that Bronx lives matter, even though you may be a huge corporation with properties and buildings and investments everywhere. Well, this little community in the Bronx matters. These black lives matter, and we're going to make sure that you never forget that. So in the future, if you think about cutting corners, you're going to think about what we made you pay for these families. Sometimes corporations who care about profit over safety, you have to hit them where it hurts, because oftentimes they don't think about marginalized people. They just think about profits.
Certainly a powerful, powerful message, right? And while we have you here, Mr. Crump, you're also involved in another high-profile case that we are following very closely that's gained some national attention, the deadly police shooting of 22-year-old Amir Locke in Minneapolis. The case eerily similar, as you know, to that of Breonna Taylor's. Will you be filing a wrongful death suit on behalf of the Locke family?
I certainly will. And after I leave here in the Bronx, New York, I am going to go to Minneapolis with Amir Locke's family, as well as Breonna Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, are going to travel with me, because if we should have learned anything during Black History Month, is the importance of history. And when we think about the recent history regarding no-knock warrant policies, it is that no-knock warrants have deadly consequences for innocent Black people. And so Minneapolis, after George Floyd said that they were going to abolish no-knock warrants, but yet we see they did not. And Amir Locke should not have been killed while he was sleeping on his couch in the wee hours of the morning, because he had no idea that the police were breaking in his house instead of a burglary. And I might add, the Minnesota Gun Caucus, and I had to take my foot out my mouth, because I often ask, when Black people who had licensed gun permits got killed by police, and when they were trying to protect their castles and their homes, like Philando Castile and Corey Jones, why weren't they speaking out? Well, this Minnesota Gun Caucus said this young Black man did everything that a reasonable, law-abiding, gun-permitted owner would have done under the circumstances. And this young man had no criminal history. He was not listed on this search warrant. And his mother and father said that they will not let this go unaccounted for.
Well, Mr. Crump, we appreciate your time, but we have run out of time this morning. We really appreciate you coming and updating us on all of these cases. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for covering these important matters.
Of course. 8:15 right now.